Hello and welcome to day 2 of your natural breathing challenge. Today is all about learning to reconnect into a slow breathing rate. When we start to adopt suboptimal ways of breathing and inefficient breathing pattern habits, we start to breathe a bit too fast and shallow. So today is all about connecting back into a slow breathing rate, which should be between 10 to 14 breaths per minute. If we're breathing too fast, we end up having a higher breathing rate and taking more breaths per minute than we need to, which can contribute to and amplify that sensation of air hunger, that feeling like we're not getting a good breath of air in. That air hunger actually ends up coming from us over breathing and blowing off too much carbon dioxide, and that creates an imbalance within our breathing system and keeps us stuck in this cycle of over breathing and air hunger, and then feeling like we need more air, so then we take bigger, faster breaths, which only makes it feel worse and can start to make us feel a lot more panicked at the breathing too. So the breathing foundations is slow breathing, which we'll focus on today. Let's get straight into it. For today, you'll need your wet pack again and somewhere comfortable to start and somewhere comfortable to lie down. We will be starting with where we left off last time. So lying down on your back, getting yourself comfortable, and starting in your breather's reset position. Bending the knees. When we bend our knees, it helps to soften the core and connect into the diaphragm a lot more effortlessly and less manually. Placing your weight onto your belly and then meeting me in your breather's reset position with your hands above your head. Now you may wish to connect into your breather's reset with your hands either side of your belly. That is absolutely fine, and I'll be joining you there soon. But to start with, I'm going to do half of our breathing retraining today with my hands above head, and then the final half with my hands down on my wheat pack. I forgot the name of the word of what it was called for a moment there, but a wheat pack. Okay, just rocking the knees from side to side. Good. And just finding stillness here for a moment, feeling the weight of your head, letting go into your hands, feeling the heaviness and the warmth of the weight in the wheat pack in contact with your belly. Feeling that gentle rock of the knees side to side. And then finding stillness here, softening the knees. Feeling your feet grounded in contact with the mat. Noticing the natural rise of the diaphragm, and then how it just lets go. If you notice an urge to take a big catch-up breath, try focus on a soft breath out. Swallow, breathe out, melt the body, and reassure yourself that air hunger is your friend and not a threat. It's a sign that your body is learning to breathe more efficiently instead of over-breathing. When we over-breathe, we blow off a bit too much carbon dioxide through taking faster breaths. So when we try and suppress taking those bigger breaths, so instead of yawning, swallow, breathe out and melt. And instead of taking a big balloon breath into the upper chest, swallow, breathe out and melt. This is helping us break the cycle of over breathing. You may feel a bit of air hunger when doing this and suppressing the yawns or the bigger breaths and starting to yawn a bit less and swallowing, breathe out and melting. This air hunger is safe. It's your friend. It's actually a sign that your body is recalibrating normal levels of carbon dioxide again, because when we overbreathe, as I mentioned briefly before, we start to overbreathe a bit too much carbon dioxide. So we actually need to restore that balance and do the opposite and restore and increase levels of carbon dioxide within our blood base, which can feel a bit air hungry at first, but it's actually a really positive sign that your body is recalibrating to optimal levels of carbon dioxide. You've got it. So the air hunger isn't a sign that you need more air. It's a sign that you're recalibrating levels of carbon dioxide, which is a great thing. So really try your best to reassure yourself that as you practice this next stage of your breathing retraining journey. So just meeting me now with your hands either side on your weight. Lovely. And just finding expansion here, noticing it naturally rising and then letting it go. And can you find a soft pause at the end of the breath out? So the breath goes in soft. It exhales as you melt your body, soften your hands, and then find stillness. Pause for a soft moment. And then breathe back in again. Good, let go. Find stillness at the end of the breath out. And then we breathe back in again. So this is us slowing down your breathing rate with a soft pause at the end of your breath out. You may need to exhale and then swallow. Stillness in the belly. And then breathe back in. Lovely. Now this pause may feel a bit uncomfortable, right? Because for some of you, you've been breathing quite fast and a bit more shallow for a while. So the pause at the end of the breath out can sometimes feel a bit of an increase in air hunger and a bit uncomfortable. Now remember to reassure you with what we previously discussed, that air hunger is a sign that your body is recalibrating and learning slow breathing, and it's restoring optimal levels of carbon dioxide, which is a great thing. The air hunger becomes less and more comfortable with practice. So swallow, melt, let go. Good. And then when you're ready, finding a soft expansion of that weight, and then noticing the weight just sinking, letting go. Heavy, find stillness at the end as the belly softens, and then breathing back in again. Good. You might find you need to take a catch-up breath. Try your best not to gulp it in too enthusiastically, just softly taking the breath in. Reset, breathing out through pursed lips if you need, like you're blowing out a candle. Swallow, breathe out, and melt the body. Well done. Now come back to that pause at the end of your breath out. Good. And then connecting back in to the expansion of the weight. Then let go. And then find stillness. That pause at the end of the breath out. Connecting back into your body. Drawing awareness towards the tip of your eyebrows. Feeling heaviness melt over your face, softening your shoulders, letting go of the elbows, Swallow, breathe out, and melt the body, let it go. Letting the legs ground your body, ground the feet into the mat. And soft, without forcing it. Exhale, feel the heaviness of the weight grounding the body into the floor, and then find stillness, a soft pause at the end of the breath out. Bringing gratitude in towards the breath, bringing gratitude to yourself for taking the steps to connecting into natural breathing. Bringing gratitude to your breath, and even though it's felt like it hasn't been working for you, bringing in trust that your body, that your breath is connecting back into its rhythm as you practice your natural breathing. Bringing trust into your body that you are learning, you are creating a more effortless breathing pattern. Good. Reset breath when you're ready, taking a breath in. It's okay if the chest rises a little bit, but just let the breath out and melt. Connecting into that pause at the end of the breath out. Well done. If it feels a bit restricted, when you're breathing in, we don't want to breath stack too much into the upper chest. Let the breath out and melt, and maybe it's a good time now to connect back into your breather's reset position. If you're finding it's a bit restricted in the diaphragm, work with your body, open yourself up. Good. Breathe out and melt the body. And just notice how that diaphragm expands more naturally here. Well done. Finding that soft pause. Good. As always, bring some movement back into the body to finish. Well done. I know it's not easy to do that pause at the end of the breath out, particularly when we've been breathing quite fast and shallow for a while. So you have done amazing. It gets much more comfortable with practice and progressions, which we will be layering on in day 3. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, 2 to 3 times a day, connecting into your breather's reset position, finding that connection into the diaphragm. And then when you're ready, placing your hands either side of your lower ribs on the weight, and just finding soft expansion Breathe out and melt the body. And then practicing finding stillness at the end of the breath out. And what I mean by stillness is a pause at the end of the breath out. Often people ask, how many counts? At the moment, I wouldn't worry too much about counting because it creates a little bit more manual focus on the breath. But a soft count of 1 to 2 is fine for at the moment. But even just focusing on the breath out and just pausing for a moment, right? You don't need to count how long, but if it felt helpful for you, then a count of 1 to 2 is fine for at the moment. But the biggest thing is actually just trying to slow your breathing down and finding the pause at the end of the breath out, finding stillness of the stomach, letting go and softening at the end of the breath out before initiating that next breath in super fast. And so the best thing you can do between now and day 3 is practice finding that pause at the end, and also working with your body to connect into the diaphragm. Just reset, hands to side, good. And if in doubt, calming back into the body. I love the swaying of the knees from side to side because it just creates this harmony with the body to the breath, so we don't feel like we're too rigid and tight. So when you're ready, on that note, bringing some more movement into your body, taking your time to sit back up. You should be so proud of yourself for trying to slow down your breathing. You did amazing. Well done. It's going to get so much easier with practice and breathing retraining progressions. So I will see you tomorrow for day 3. Be kind to yourself. Trust your body and your breath that it is learning to create this natural breathing rhythm. The first few days are the harder times with it because it's new. So please, please, please be kind to yourself. Reassure yourself it will get easier with practice. And please reach out, any questions, big or small. I love hearing from you and how you are going. And I will see you soon. Bye.